Match day 31 for Arsenal is going to be played at the London Stadium in London. Another London derby that Arsenal has gone ahead to win every London derby this season. You know, welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? The game is going to be played at the London Stadium that capacitates 66,000 people. You know, it's the biggest stadium in London. You know, Chelsea is having like 40,000, 50,000. You know, Emirates is having like 60,000. Tottenham Hotspur like 63,000. Now, this is the biggest stadium in London and the biggest club stadium in England. It's Old Trafford that capacitates 75,000 people plus every game. So Arsenal is coming in here after really drawing away at Liverpool, and they had gone ahead to enjoy a very good spell at home because their previous two games they've been playing at home. After beating Fulham 3-0 away from home, they went back to the Emirates and played against Crystal Palace. They beat Crystal Palace by 4-1. They followed it up with Leeds, again a 4-1 win against Leeds. Then they went away to play at Liverpool where they drew 2-2 in a game that they really first led by 2-0, and they found themselves really conceding more too. And Aaron Ramsdale came to their rescue for not losing that beautiful game of football. So Rokani David is my name, and let's continue and see what this game is all about as far as West Ham and Arsenal are concerned. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and obviously give us your thoughts about this beautiful game of football as we really break it down into your know, because there are things we bring in here for you that most of you might not be knowing, but all of us are really in a shell of really watching what this game of football is meaning for Arsenal. Now one will ask, what is all important for this beautiful game of football? So the following is really at stake. If Arsenal don't win this game of football, they will be really so much disappointed because it's a game they have to win, as they've won all the London derbies apart from, I think they've won all the London derbies. Fulham at home and away, Tottenham Hotspur home and away. It's only West Ham and Chelsea that Arsenal have not gone ahead to complete the two games, because for Chelsea the first leg ended 1-0. They're paying a visit to Emirates, and then West Ham first leg 26th December, Arsenal beat them by 3-1. I think it was Edin Ketia, Martinelli and Bukayo Saka in the mix. So that's what all has been said about Arsenal. But Arsenal is going to come in this game of football after knowing a result that Man City would have gotten today when they are playing against Leicester City at Etihad. So Arsenal will be so much knowing how much points they need after City's result. If City win, they would have closed down Arsenal to 3. If they draw, but would you expect Leicester to really stop City right now? It will be really a shock of the life that City is shocked by Leicester, and Arsenal are just needing to win their remaining games. They are having 8 games to go. If they win 7 and draw 1, Arsenal will be really labelled champions of the league, of the Premier League of 2022-2023. Now, when you look at West Ham, they played in midweek. Yeah, they played in the midweek in the Conference League away at Genk, and they drew that game 1-1, meaning that some players are really having fatigue into their bodies. And Arsenal last played on Sunday, meaning that they are going to be rested for 7 days, meaning that they are fresh and they are not having new injuries. The only injuries that Arsenal are really having: Tomiyasu ruled out until the end of the season. Saliba, the manager told us that he's not far away from starting grass work. El Nini, also he's ruled out until the end of the season. But Edin Ketia is expected to make it to the match squad as Arsenal plays away at West Ham tomorrow. So that's Arsenal for you. They're not having very many injuries. When you look at West Ham, so Skamaka is set to miss because he's having a knee injury, and obviously I think Lucas Fabianski is coming back in goal. You know, he has been away. But Thomas Shushek, Katzuma, Antonio, Mikel Antonio and Lucas Paqueta, who missed last weekend's win at Craven Cottage due to a knock, are also among the fresh legs that are really coming in back, meaning that West Ham is really having a very, 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 very huge team that is really available. So Arsenal will have to find themselves in a position of really stopping this team, and I know Arsenal have all what it takes to stop this team because they're really doing well. When you look at how Arsenal played away at Anfield, if at all they can orchestrate exactly what they did in the first half, they go 2 goals up against West Ham. I think West Ham doesn't have the nerves to really get back, because when they open up, Arsenal will really do the needful and really score more goals, because West Ham does not have the quality that Liverpool is really having. That's it. They don't have the quality that Liverpool is really having. And maybe David Moyes is really one of those managers that he's having his job at a very bad point, because he's having 30 points in 29 games, you know. So that puts him in a position that he's just how many points? He's just 3 points from the relegation zone. So he's having a very hard game to play against Arsenal. And trust me, when you look at the results of Arsenal last season, Arsenal beat West Ham at the Emirates by 2-0. That was the 21st of December 2021. Then in the 21st of March, Arsenal found themselves in a position of drawing 3-3 at the London Stadium, meaning that they drew 3-3 last season, but this time I think they're a much more better team. If they can put 3 goals past West Ham, that means they can keep that lead and no one can really stop them. This season, their first leg was played at Emirates after the World Cup. 26th December, Arsenal beat West Ham by 3-1, as I told you earlier in the video. Now, let's go into the predicted starting 11 and see who is starting and who is not able to start into this beautiful game of football as far as Arsenal is concerned. But David Moyes, who was once a manager of Mikel Arteta at Everton before he really left to go to Manchester United in 2013. System of Arsenal, it's a 4-3-3 always, not changing. And let's wait and see what this beautiful game of football is going to be all about at the London Stadium. I think it's going to be Aaron Ramsdale starting in goal. No doubt about him. Matana is so much confident and okay with him being the second choice goalkeeper, and is really willing to go on and really find himself in a position of not finding himself out of the team of Arsenal, but he's okay. Matana is okay. I brought you that story. Then we go to the right back position of Arsenal. Obviously no contender apart from Benjamin White, who is really one of those players are going to hit to impress, and I think he's going to be facing Benrahma. You know, Benrahma is one of those players that is going to be really facing for West Ham. So, and I think Ben White will really find himself closing him down. In the game of Liverpool, Ben White found himself in a position of not really overlapping because he had lots of works to do. And I think Saka never did enough at the first goal to really come up and really help Ben White, because Ben White found himself in a situation of 2v1, and Saka just ran back and really relaxed towards the edge of the Tina's box area, and hence Arsenal conceded the goal. But I think this time around he'll be having the liberty to fly up the pitch, because I think Benrahma will find himself in a position of not really going past Ben White a lot, though he's really a very good player. Then the left back, Zinchenko, needs to really raise up to the levels. However much really was responsible for the 2 goals that Arsenal considered, I think Zinchenko will find himself in a position of really playing into this game of West Ham. And I think you need players like him. You need players like him in this game of football, because the experience and the pressure that he has gone through ever since he played for Man City, and they've lifted very many trophies at City, it's part of him. So Zinchenko is just part of this, and he knows what to do in the exact period of time. Now, on the left side of the central defense, Gabriel Magalhaes fully fit to play against West Ham on Sunday, and then Rob Holding is going to play on the right side of the central defense. He really had a very decent game against Liverpool, and I think no one doubts his levels right now at Arsenal, because he has shown us that he can really stand into the boots of William Saliba that really that really look big, though he does not fit the boots, but obviously he has shown us that he can do the needful for the club of Arsenal each and every time they call him to go ahead and really do the needful for the club. So that is the back four of Arsenal, and I think it's going to be unchanged as it lined up against Liverpool at the Anfield Stadium. Let's go to the midfield. I think Thomas Partey is going to be playing in the central defensive midfield area of a side known as Arsenal as they face on West Ham, and is going to be responsible for closing down that midfield of West Ham that has Paqueta, Soucek, and Declan Rice. You know, Declan Rice is one of those players that is being linked to Arsenal, and it's time he showed Arsenal why they should sign him. If Partey closes him down, it's really going to be so ugly. And ever since the World Cup ended, I think Declan Rice has had a very huge drop-off, according to me. He has had a very huge drop-off, but nevertheless, he keeps pushing and going on further as a player that is being liked by Mikel Arteta. Then, alongside Thomas Partey, it's going to be Odegaard and Granit Xhaka onto the either sides or the either shoulders of Thomas Partey, and I think Xhaka, Thomas Partey, and Odegaard never had a decent game against Liverpool. That's it. Let's agree. They never had a decent game against Liverpool, but I know why. I know why they didn't, because they had to do more of running and chasing the ball than really having the ball on their feet. But this time around, West Ham is going to surrender the ball to Arsenal. That means Odegaard, Partey, and Xhaka are going to be having more of the possession, so that calls them to operate in the final third of the opponent, or in the attacking third of the opponent. So that is the midfield three of Arsenal. Then the front three, it's obviously Saka starting off the right attacking side of the midfield or as a right forward. He never had a decent game against Liverpool. Let's be open, guys. Let's be open, and I think he needs to lift himself up. You know, these are games that Saka should come out and really lift Arsenal. As I told you, that as you saw Jesus and Martinelli do it in the game of Liverpool, you know, that's what we call impactful players. You know, players are really pivotal in such games. That's when we know your levels, you know, of raising up. You know, Martinelli raised up on the occasion, scored one and created one, you know, and Jesus scored a header. So it shows you that even Bukayo Saka in such big games, you should go ahead and really raise up to the occasion. But I think he's going to start against a side known as West Ham. Then, no doubt, it's Gabriel Martinelli off the left attacking side of the midfield as a left forward. And guess what? Guess who's leading the line? It's not going to be Trossard. It's going to be Gabriel Jesus, a man in typical form. Last two games, 3 goals for Arsenal, and he's really thriving and obviously going to the next level. That is Jesus for you. Those are 8 Premier League games. Those are 8 Premier League goals with 6 assists. And I think he can even hit 15 goals this season. He has more 8 goals in his legs left. I know he has a hat-trick, 2 braces in him, as he really gets back to that position where he deserves him to be. So that is the predicted starting 11 of Arsenal. And I think for West Ham, they are going to be having Fabianski in goal. They are going to be having Fabianski in goal. And very many other teams. Coach Zuma, Declan Rice, Soucek, Paqueta, Benrahma, Gerard Bowen, and I think Antonio Mikel to lead the line for a side of West Ham. But which players should Arsenal really look at too, or really give a very huge watch? Players to watch in that game. Declan Rice in the midfield, Lucas Paqueta, Soucek, that midfield 3, Thomas Partey, Odegaard, and Granit Xhaka should find means of neutralizing it. And the deadliest player at West Ham is Gerard Bowen. Zinchenko needs to find himself in his best. He needs to sleep well tonight, because Gerard Bowen is a very fast player that can produce moments of magic anyhowly. With the way Zinchenko really finds himself in a position of really playing the inverted fullback, he cuts inside in the midfield and obviously dominates possession into the final third of the opponent, or even the second third of the pitch. he just needs to keep in mind that there is a player known as Gerard Bowen that is going to be really running at him every time he gets the ball. So one thing that Arsenal have to do is to really get Gerard Bowen out of the game, Ben Rama, because when you get those out of the game, then you'll find yourselves into a position of really neutralizing them and stopping them from really being a harmful team to yourself, to the team. Now, Mikel Antonio, I think the physical battle can be won by Gabriel Magalhaes, because Gabriel Magalhaes' physical battles, it's hard to go past him. I think it was Skamaka, you would have gone ahead to really worry a little bit, because Skamaka is a very talented player, but Gabriel Magalhaes has shown us that he is really improving season in, season out at Arsenal, and that's why they gave him a new contract at Arsenal. So I expect this game to end 3-1 in favor of Arsenal. That's it. 3-1 in favor of Arsenal. Arsenal are really hungry, and Jesus alone is just a player that gives Arsenal 1 or 2 goals in such games, because he's going to really run past Kurt Zouma. I know Kurt Zouma is a very good player, but Jesus is a different caliber. He's going to put them to the sword. So guys, that's my prediction today. I believe Arsenal really winning this game of football by 3-1, and Mikel Arteta needs this win badly. He needs this win badly, because if at all he wins, he'll extend to 6 points ahead of a team known as Man City, depending on the result Man City are really getting today after playing against Leicester City. So my prediction is 3-1, and I think Odegaard is another player that can really score tomorrow. I think he's going to score tomorrow. So let me drop you a little bit of some stats before we really call it quits from this beautiful game of football between Arsenal and West Ham, because Arsenal and West Ham have played 26 Premier League games, and Arsenal have only lost 2 of those. Are they 2 or 3? So it shows you how solid Arsenal has been, all dominant Arsenal has been against Tottenham Hotspur against West Ham every time they face one another. West Ham United have won just 2 of their 29 Premier League games against Arsenal. You hear? 22 losses and 5 draws, winning 2 away in August 2015 and 1-0 at home in January. So they last won against Arsenal in 2019. Arsenal have only lost 3 of their 26 Premier League visits to West Ham, 14 wins and 9 draws, and have won 9 of their last 14 away games against the Hammers. So it shows you that Arsenal have won 14 away games. Oh, have won 9. Good result. Arsenal have won 8 Premier League games against West Ham after conceding the first goal, including a 3-1 victory in the reverse fixture at the Emirates in December. It's both the most wins Arsenal have against an opponent when conceding first, and the most defeats West Ham have against a side when opening the scoring in a competition. So it shows you that Arsenal has gone ahead to capitalize onto the lead of West Ham several occasions. Arsenal have won all 5 of their away London derbies in the Premier League this season by an aggregate of 11-0. Only twice before have they won 6 consecutive league derbies on the road, doing so in February 1989 and March 2014. So that means Arsenal have gone ahead to win against Chelsea away from home, Tottenham Hotspur, Fulham, you know, which other team is in London that Arsenal have gone ahead to beat? Crystal Palace, I understand, and I think Brentford. Those are the 5 wins that Arsenal have gotten away from home, and I think it's going to be another 6th win registered by Arsenal in London tomorrow. West Ham have won 2 of their last 3 Premier League games, as many as they had in the previous 14. They are looking to win back-to-back league games for the very first time since October, but lost 5-1 in their last home game against Newcastle. So Newcastle came out and really put them to sword. 5-1 against Newcastle. So to me, I believe Arsenal can even do that to this West Ham side, but they don't really find themselves in a position of really being so much protective for their team. So guys, that's what I had for you. My prediction is 3-1. Your predictions are welcome in the comment section below. Rokani David remains my name. Rokani Media Football is a YouTube channel. That has been our match preview of West Ham versus Arsenal, a game that's going to be played tomorrow at the London Stadium. So I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. May the Almighty bless you abundantly, my Muslim friends. Ramadan Kareem. I'm out. See you in our next video, and this is the first video of the day.